What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, and today we're going to be in part 3 of your favorite team's New Year's resolutions, starting today with the AL Central Division. Now, before we get talking about the American League Central's New Year's resolutions, be sure to follow me on Twitch if you want to talk more about baseball while I am live on Twitch. We can talk about trade rumors, hot takes, things like that. If you do have a specific hot take you want to say, throw it in the Discord. It'll be in the description of this video, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I post most of my content, when I'm going to be uploading and things like that. Be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified when we post. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. It's the best way to support the channel. Now, in the comment section, I want to hear your takes on what you think about these New Year's resolution, or if you have a different one for these teams I'm talking about. So let's get right into it. Now, we're going to start from the bottom of the AL Central Division and work our way up, starting with the Detroit Tigers. And the Detroit Tigers, to put it in a word, your New Year's resolution is Casey Mize. Casey Mize, hopefully you can see something good out of him next year. He's one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball. He's got some nasty stuff. Hopefully he can be the lone bright spot on this otherwise pretty dark team. You had one of the worst pitching staffs in all of baseball last year, being the worst in ERA, worst in ERA plus. All sorts of things went wrong with that team last year, but Casey Mize is going to be your New Year's resolution. See him develop, make him turn into a top pitcher in baseball, so you can at least have something to hang your hat on. At the end of the day, have someone to build your team around in the future. Very young, very good prospect. So Casey Mize, that is your New Year's resolution, Detroit Tigers. Now, the Kansas City Royals, they didn't have a great pitching staff either, but the main problem with their offense wasn't actually the offensive production. They hit a lot of home runs. They had a lot of hits. They were towards the top of the division in both of those. They just weren't getting on base a lot. They were second to last, almost as bad as the Tigers in on-base percentage. So when all those home runs came around, they had 77 home runs. That was above league average. But when it came to those home runs, nobody was on base. They didn't have a lot of runs scored. They weren't getting on base a lot. So on-base percentage is going to be a big thing to look for in the Kansas City Royals in 2020. Now, they did sign Carlos Santana, who is actually one of the best on-base percentage players in all of baseball. He led the league in walks in 2020, led the American League in walks in 2020, and he usually averages about 100 walks a season in a 162-game season. So definitely a good player, a good addition to have for the Kansas City Royals. Looks like they're addressing that. Now, if they could just get a little bit better in their starting rotation and maybe their bullpen a little bit, they could be a legitimate contender in the next few years. So we'll just have to see. The Carlos Santana signing is kind of interesting because they don't really seem like a team that's ready to win now. But with bright spots on their offense, like Adalberto Mondesi had a great end of the year last year. Jorge Soler's a great bat to have. Whit Merrifield's a great bat. Hunter Dozier's been hitting well. They got a good team to build around. They just got to improve getting on base a little bit next year. Something they can definitely be working on. Now, the Cleveland Indians are a very interesting team to cover. The Indians have one of the richest owners in all of baseball, but they also have one of the lowest payrolls in all of baseball. So when it comes down to it, they got to spend some money and stop wasting all this talent they've got. They've let so many guys walk, whether that's Mike Clevenger, possibly Francisco Lindor's on the trading block. They let Michael Brantley walk in free agency. They just let Carlos Santana walk in free agency. All sorts of different guys that they're just letting go and hardly getting anything back in return for them. Now, when it comes down to their payroll, they could legitimately sign George Springer, JT Realmuto, both to $20 million deals, and sign Trevor Bauer to a $30 million deal, and they would still be under the New York Yankees payroll for the 2021 season. So that is just absolutely mind-boggling to me, and you know, they just got to go out and spend some money, sign some free agents. They could legitimately contend next year, but if they're going to be trading away Francisco Lindor, it looks like they are actively trying to rebuild when there's no reason to be doing that with all the talent they've got on their squad. Shane Bieber's the best pitcher in baseball, at least he was last year, if he can keep that up in 2021. You'll have the best pitcher in baseball. You have one of the best rotations in baseball with a lot of young talent like Aaron Savale, Tristan McKenzie coming up. Carlos Carrasco is a veteran, but he's really good. Shane Bieber is a veteran, but he's in his prime right now. They just have so many good pitchers. Zach Plesac's another one, and then so much good young talent on the squad, and coming up with Nolan Jones on their in their minor league and their prospect. So we'll just have to see what the Indians come down to end up doing, but they have so much money that they're just not spending on the team. It seems like the owner doesn't really care about the ball club. It's sorry to hear. I feel bad for you Indians fans. The Angels owner has about $1 billion less of net worth, and we spend way more than twice as much as the Indians do. So the Angels may not be a better team than the Indians, but we spend a lot more money, so it's really hard to see such a good franchise not spending money and getting their team to that next level to win a World Series. The Indians do have the longest playoff or World Series drought in all of baseball right now since the Cubs won in 2016. So sorry to hear it, Indians fans, but I don't think you're going to have a great year next year unless you guys start spending some more money and retain some of that young talent you have. Now for the Chicago White Sox, how did you guys lose the division last year? Your New Year's resolution is to win the damn division. You guys clearly, in my opinion, had the best team in the division. This offseason, you got Lance Lynn acquired, Michael Kopech's coming up, and he's going to be a stud, apparently. You have one of the best bullpens in all of baseball, and you have probably close to the best offense in all of baseball. Luis Robert's a fucking stud. Jose Abreu was the MVP last year. Edwin Encarnacion's your designated hitter. That's absolutely insane to say. Yohan Moncada's a young stud. Tim Anderson had a breakout year. You signed Adam Eaton, which was kind of interesting, but he could be a good top of the order guy for you. We're just going to have to see what you guys end up doing. Eloy Jimenez, I even forgot about Eloy Jimenez. You guys have such a stacked lineup, such a good bullpen. You're going to have a great starting rotation. Dare I say, I think the Chicago White Sox might be my favorite to make it to the World Series in the American League next year. Now, that's not saying anything bad about the Yankees. I just think they might have a better team. If you go 1 through 9 plus their starting rotation and their bullpen, they're going to be a nasty next year. So you guys better win the division, or you guys are just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Win the damn division. Now, the White Sox also last year led the division in runs, hits, home runs, OBP, OPS, OPS plus, batting average, if you still like that stat, slugging percentage, basically every offensive category they could have, and they were to top of the division, towards the top of the division in ERA and all pitching stats. Obviously, the Cleveland Indians had the best rotation and everything in all of baseball, but when it comes down to it, the White Sox were just an amazing team last year. The fact that they didn't win the division is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Now we're hopping over to the Minnesota Twins, and I got to throw on one of my Vikings hat to talk about this franchise. Now, lucky for me, I am not a Minnesota Twins fan, but if you are, I thought being a Vikings fan was painful. The Minnesota Twins have not won a playoff game since 2004, and they have not won a playoff series since 2002, when they eventually lost to the Angels and won the World Series. Now, I don't mean to rub it in, but I'm just saying, the Twins have to win a playoff game next year. I don't even know if they're going to... I mean, they're going to make the playoffs, let's be real. They have a pretty good pitching staff. They got a very good lineup 1 through 9. Byron Buxton finally broke out last year, who's supposed to be a #1 prospect for a few years now. Finally had a good season. So realistically, you guys have to win a playoff game. The people of Minnesota have suffered enough. The Vikings have never won a Super Bowl. The Minnesota Twins haven't won a playoff game since 2004. That is absolutely ridiculous. They are on an 18-game playoff losing streak. That's insane. Also, I just want to point out the Yankees absolutely own the Twins in the playoffs. It's not even, it's embarrassing at this point. Let me go over this real quick. All right, I'm reading this directly off MLB.com. Okay, so 2020, they got swept by the Astros. 2019, they got swept by the Yankees. 2017, they got swept by the Yankees. 2010, they got swept by the Yankees. 2009, they got swept by the Yankees. 2006, they got swept by the Oakland Athletics. And 2004, they lost to the Yankees, but they lost 3-1. 2003, they also lost to the Yankees 3-1. 2002, they beat the A's and then lost to the Angels 4-1. So I'm just so sorry to hear that, Twins fans, you're just having a rough go of it. 2021, maybe it's your year to win a playoff game. Maybe you can lose 1-3 to the Yankees again, something like that. But your New Year's resolution, win a playoff game. Obviously, we're not going to know the answer to that until October, but hopefully at least make it back to the playoffs so you have a chance to win one. We'll see. Now, that is going to do it for us today on part 3 of your favorite MLB teams' New Year's resolution. Thanks again for watching. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content and want to see more of this. We're going to have part 4 coming out tomorrow. We're going to start with the National League. And I will see you guys next time. Be sure to hit those links in my description if you want to support any of the content. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.